Hi guys, this is Tiffany from TNT Farm. As you can see, we're in the garden today, but we're going to be picking some fresh zucchini to learn how to preserve it to enjoy for the winter. 2 different methods of freezing. Stay tuned and enjoy. Okay guys, so here's some of the zucchini we'll be picking. We have 4 plants here, and I have 2 yellow and 2 green. Now, this one looks good and healthy. Well, guess what? A few weeks ago, it looked like this one. Trimmed it back, got it started again, and now it's nice and healthy and rejuvenated. It's put on, I think, 4 zucchini right now we're going to be able to harvest. If you have never grown zucchini before, give it a shot. It's like the simplest plant to grow, and it gives you lots of bountiful harvest. So give it a try. We're going to head into the kitchen here. All right, here we are in the kitchen, and we are ready to start. Here's a detailed list of what you will need if you are going to do the freezer method of shredding or the blanching method of chunks of zucchini. So as you can see, I have a variety of sizes of zucchini. Now, I know some people don't like to use these large ones. They think they get a little woody. For me, I'm going to remove seeds and just be shredding them, so I don't mind if they're a little larger. And you guys don't throw them away. You can give them to your chickens, which is what we usually do if they get too large as well. But last year, for fall decorations with my pumpkins, these large zucchinis worked well. They stayed firm and crisp on my patio for a long time out in the freezing weather, and made just for a fun decoration with my pumpkins. Okay, so for the shredding method, of course, you're going to want your zucchini. You're going to want a cutting board and a good knife. And then over here, I have my food processor. If you were doing a smaller batch, you could use just a hand grater or a box grater. This is what I have. I did some smaller batches with this the other day. But this works well too. My food processor is a KitchenAid, and I will put some links to these things on Amazon for you guys so you can find them quickly. And then of course you're going to want your shredding blade inside of there. So this is because we're doing a large batch. And then after that, you're going to want to have some freezer bags available. I'm choosing to use the quarts today because most of my recipes, I'm only doing 1 cup of shredded zucchini. So that is how we do the freezer method. Now, if you're blanching, you're going to want, of course, your zucchini, a cutting board, and knives. You're going to want a large pot of boiling water, which mine's almost there. And for mine, I have the steam basket in mine, and I'll be able to just drop my zucchinis down in there and blanch, and then throw them in my ice bath, which is the next thing you're going to want, is an ice bath. What this does is just shocks the zucchini from cooking, and it'll stop. My sink is sanitized and clean. And then I like to use parchment paper to, after I've dried them just a little bit, lay them out on the parchment paper, let them freeze on these cookie sheets for a while to firm them up. And then I will remove them from my parchment paper into my Ziploc bags so that they don't freeze in hard clumps, and I can remove out what I want from my zucchini at the time. Okay guys, so that's your list of everything you're going to need. So let's get started. Okay guys, here we are ready to start processing these zucchini. Now as you can see, this is a larger zucchini, but we'll show you how to remove the seeds quickly and easily. So I like to just cut off my ends before I get started here. No waste here. This will all go to the chickens later. I cut mine down the center, and they're a little firmer, but not, you know, nothing you can't get through with a good sharp knife. So there we go. You can see those seeds in there. And you probably wouldn't have to do this if you were shredding it up, but I'm just going to do it because I want to. I just take my knife on edge and go down that core, kind of where the zucchini or the seeds are. As you can see, I've removed most of the seeds there. There's a few left. You know, if there's a bigger one, you can pull those out of there if you wanted to, but really no big deal. We're shredding this up. So instead of throwing those away, there's still a lot of good use we can get out of these, and these will fit right into our chute. So let me do a couple more of these here and slice down. Like I said, my chickens will be happy little campers later tonight. All right. Doesn't have a whole lot of seeds in it, how I cut that there, so just shave a little of that off. There we go. All right, so I like to use the yellow and the green. What I use with my zucchini shreds is I like to make these zucchini tortilla shells is what I'm going to do with my shreds. I also do a zucchini cake, sugar-free, and also a zucchini bread, of course, most people use. But that's what I'm going to use my shreds for, so I don't mind the water in there. But I do like the color of the green and the yellow mixed together. I'll show you in the freezer bags later what that looks like. All right, so let's start up this food processor. There we go. Makes simple work of a big project. Okay, I'm going to cut a green one here just to kind of show you how pretty this looks when they're mixed together. Okay. This one's not quite as big. I am saving the smaller ones that I have for the blanching method here, because they won't have as much seeds in them, and I'll be able to cut them and utilize more of it that way. So nothing will be wasted, but I'll throw this in here. I'll show you what this looks like when I'm done with it. Okay, so like I said, you don't have to do this with a food processor. You could just use a cheese grater or a box grater. I have this. What I do is I just, when I'm doing small batches, throw it over my bowl, and you can shred it up really easily like that, and this works just as well. So not a problem, but let's take this off and show you how pretty this is. How exciting. All right, so let's bring this over. You can see how pretty that is with the green and the yellow in there. All right. Okay guys, so the next step I do is I just take my Ziploc baggies that I've already pre-marked, zucchini shreds. It's way easier to write on them now than later. Okay, and we're gonna just take this piece out, of course. There's no blade in there because it's on the top part, right? And we're squishing some, like I said, I'm just doing 1 cup because that's what most of my recipes call for. Doesn't have to be an exact science. So open up my baggie. I'm going to dump the zucchini in. Okay. And then I like to just kind of get it shook around in there to where it lays flat. So kind of spread them out. And they'll kind of juice up. You know how wet zucchini is. And they freeze really nice like this. So just have your bag kind of partially zipped. Squeeze your air out. Sorry, can you see that? Squeeze your air out. And then we're going to lock it shut. Simple as can be. So I'll show you how pretty this looks. So when you get them out of the freezer, it's got a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow. They're really nice. And these will freeze for quite a while in your freezer. So that's how we do this one. Now let's go over and do the blanching process after I finish these up. Here we go guys on the blanching of the zucchini. So I just wanted to show you real quickly too the difference between, if you're in your garden, this is what a cut zucchini off the end looks like, okay? And sometimes if you just want to break them off, they can do this. Usually they break off a little cleaner up here on the stem, but this one broke off. So you can do it either way, cut, or I mean, this one's the cut, or these are the broken off ones. So since I'm using these up fresh today, I'm not minding that, but if you're gonna give them away, sometimes you don't want them to look like this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is cut the ends off of these, and we're just going to dice these up. How I like to do it, cut down the center on these smaller ones. Okay, and you can see the seeds in here are a lot smaller than they were on the larger zucchini. So I'm saving these for this part. And then I like to cut it, I'll do it the way you should do it. Cut it again in half. And we're gonna cube them in a little larger than 1/2 inch, but not quite an inch, of course. So I'll cut this one up. So once again, down the center. And then we're just angling these out, cubing them up. Now these I will use to saute and different things. Some people don't like them, but I like mine real tender anyway, so you can kind of see, you know, there's a hand compared to the cubes. All right, so I'm going to cut all of these up. Actually, this might be enough for one batch. We're going to blanch them for 3 minutes. And what the blanching process does is stops the enzymes, okay? And it's going to make this last longer in our freezer. So those are all about right. I'm going to make this one a little thinner. Okay, so I'm going to put these back here in my pot. I'm sure you can hear of my boiling water. We'll see how many we can get in that they're still all covered. Yeah, so 2 small zucchini, they're still all covered. Okay, guys? So we're going to just set our timer for 3 minutes and let those finish cooking. And then once those are done, we're gonna throw them in our ice bath. So I'm gonna finish chopping these up and then we'll show you the next step. Okay guys, here's the next step in the process. We're gonna take these out. You can hear my timer going. All right. Woo! Watch out. There we go. Grab these out. Just let the water drain off. Okay. And you, like I said, you can do this with a slotted spoon as well. Okay. We're gonna dump these. See, they're still green. They look nice. It's just stopping that growth process. Now this is gonna shock them and stop that cooking process, okay? So I'm just gonna let these sit in here and cool while I still throw another batch in, and we will pull these back out. Don't feel like you have to handle them right away, y'all. They're hot. Next step in the process, after it is cooled in your water bath, you're going to want to remove your zucchini. So might have to clear a little ice out of the way every now and then. Now, my sink is sanitized and clean, you guys. We just have really high mineral water here, so it just really stains these sinks up. I do not have a water softener, so I learned that after I moved out to this farmhouse and we installed all these black appliances. Okay, so you guys, what you're going to do, lay them out on a clean kitchen towel, and these are nice and cold. Woo! Take another kitchen towel. I don't use my good ones, of course. These are my older ones. And I'm just going to kind of pat these dry. Okay. Then I'm going to throw them on my parchment lined cookie sheet here. Doesn't have to be perfect, guys. This is just going to go in the freezer and then get thrown in bags. So I'm going to fill these up, and then I'll pop them in the freezer for a few hours to let them firm up. And then I can put them in my freezer bags. That way when you freeze them, they don't all clump together, and you can do cups full out of the baggies instead of just big clumps and having to thaw it out. Okay, let's finish these up. Here's the finished product of the work we just completed. Out of those 5 larger zucchini that we shredded, we got 25 cups. So I like to keep these on my cookie sheets. Oh, it's heavy. And transport them down to our freezer to set up and freeze down there. After these freeze, they're nice and thin. You can either leave them on a shelf like this, or if you want to stack them, they stack really nicely. And I do have a few different recipes we use this in, so we might have to, if you want to see some recipes with zucchini shreds, let us know in the comments below. Okay, and then out of the 5 smaller zucchini that we blanched, we got 2 huge cookie sheets full. Now I like to process them this way so that I can set them in my freezer now, let them set up for a few hours. After they're hard, I'll then pop them in my freezer bags, and I can scoop out individual pieces of zucchini instead of a whole block that I have to try to defrost, and I don't want to use it all at the same setting. Then I've kind of wasted it. This way I can just pull out what I want for stir fries, soups, different things like that. Now when you are doing this, you guys, it's not going to be like a fresh zucchini, okay? They're going to be a little softer in texture and consistency, so don't think they're going to be exactly like fresh. That's actually, I prefer them a little more cooked, so it works for me and how I like to cook. So that's how we put up zucchini. So if you like this video and you learned something new, click the subscribe button down below. We'd love to hear your comments and help you out in any way we can. Thanks for watching TNT Farm.